Hello friends, hope everyone is fine. So in last video I show you like how to create a Docker image and then how to create a Docker container, and then I shown right like I saw by running an application from the Docker container. So let's have a quick recap. So initially we had one web API, simple web API. So the requirement was to dockerize, to containerize this application. So we added one Docker file and we mentioned the details like whatever, like what is the port number, at which port number we want to expose this application, and like what are the base images which is needed to run this application. So these are all things we covered, and after successfully creating the image and creating the container, we were able to run our application from the container that we saw. And in last class I promised that like next class, that means in today's class, I'm going to show like how can we run the same image, same container in Linux application. So as I have one Linux Ubuntu operating system, so there I will show you whether like how the same application, same web API, it will be running in the Linux operating system. And for your knowledge, I want to say that like in that Linux operating system I have not installed any .NET runtime, any .NET build, nothing is installed. So everything it will be running from the container itself. Why? Because in the container itself I have provided all the dependencies, like it needs the SDK image, like the .NET build and runtime, everything is provided. So it's not needed any explicit .NET installation or .NET runtime installation. Okay, so let's start guys. So okay, so let us see. So this is our, if you remember, this is our image. Okay, this is the image we built last time. So now I have to take this image to my Linux operating system, and then I have to run this image. Now the container will build, and from that container I can launch my application. Means from the container I can run this simple web API. Okay, so like first of all, what are the steps? Like how can I copy this image from this Windows operating system to this Linux operating system? This is my Linux operating system. So this is my Linux operating system, and in this Linux I will show you by running the same .NET Core Web API. Okay, so very first thing, how can I move this image from my Windows system to Linux system? So it's not as easy like I will copy this image from here and paste it, copy paste. It will not work like that. Okay, so generally how we are handling all these images is like through container image registry. Okay, so we have something called Docker Hub. So Docker Hub is a public image registry, so that is free. Like you have to enroll, you have to register, and after registering you have certain limit to upload your images. You can upload your images. So that is a public repository. So for learning purpose I am using the Docker Hub, which is the public image repository. But like coming to the real-time projects, when you are working in a company and where you are working for a client, so in that case client might not be agree to keep their images in the public repository or public container registry. Okay, so in that case maybe you have to use the private container repositories. So like it's very obvious, like if some client wants their own level of security. They don't want to share their images to outside world, so definitely they want to use their private image registry. So some example of private image registry we can see like Azure Container Registry, ACR. Okay, so like that we have other so many other container registry. So yeah, it depends, like requirement to requirement, like how, if my client is okay, that's okay, no issues, I am okay to keep my registry on the public, then I can go ahead and I can push this image on the public registry. So that's depend on the client requirement. That's fine. So that's about the fundamental of the container registry or container repository. Okay, so I can, first of all I will show you, I have the Docker Hub container registry. So this is my hub, so you can see the URL hub.docker.com, and this is my user ID Sujit181. Okay, so I have registered here myself and I got some space, free space. So 10 months ago I already pushed one image here. So today I am going to push another image, which is just now we are discussing this image. So once I will push my image here in the container registry, so now this image is global now. Now it is a public, so anyone can download, anyone can pull this image, and they can run the container and they can run the application, means run this .NET Core small application, small web API. Okay, so let's try to push this. So to push a Docker image in Docker Hub, so we have a command called docker push, then the image name. You need to provide the complete image name along with the tag name. Okay, so one more thing I want to mention here. So in last class when I was creating the image, you must have noticed that I was prefixing this with this Sujit181 and slash. Okay, so the reason why, because see, if you have a requirement of pushing your image to the Docker Hub, then your image name must be prefixed with the Docker Hub user ID. So this is my Docker Hub user ID, right? So same Docker Hub user ID slash then the image name and the columns tag name. So I knew that I have to push this image to Docker Hub to registry, so that's why I given this kind of name. If you will not provide this type of name, if you provide a simple name, then it will be it is not possible to push the image into the Docker Hub. So let's try to push it. So it is pushing into the Docker Hub. It takes some time. Yeah, so now this image has been pushed to Docker Hub. So again, one more thing I want to tell you, that like I use the docker push command, right, and I simply give the image name. So this is happening why, because I have already logged into this Docker Hub in this terminal. That's why I'm able to push. So since I have already done, so it is not asking me the credential. If you are doing it for first time, then definitely it will ask you the ID password for the Docker Hub where you want to push the image. Okay, so now it is pushed successfully. So let me go to the Docker Hub and see. So yeah, I can see the image is pushed here. So this is the same image, product test -img just 1 minute ago it is pushed, and see, it is a public. Told you, right? It's a public image, so anyone can download this image from this URL. So you can see here all the details, like I gave the tag name v1, right? So this is a tag name and everything related to this image. Okay, fine. So now our image is publicly available. So now anyone can download this across the globe, across the world. Anyone can download this. Okay, so now it's time, let's go to the Linux operating system and let's try to pull this image and build run this image. So now I'm going to Ubuntu. Okay, fine. So here now I will pull the image from the Docker Hub. So let's see how many images I have. So right now I don't have any image, so I'm going to pull Docker pull, then image name. So this is the image which is there in the container registry. So now it is pulling the image. Okay, so now the image is downloaded successfully. Now let's see images. Yeah, so I can see the image is downloaded from the Docker Hub, and this is the image ID. Okay, so now the image is there, means next I can run this image and my container will be ready. So now let's run this image to make the container. So this is the command to run the Docker image. So docker run, D means detach mode, name, like what name I want to give the container. So I have given the product prod container prod cont p port mapping. Okay, so you must be remembering, right? You remember, like I had given the 7777 port number in the image in the Docker file for that web API application. So now that port I am binding to this port number 7452 in this particular Linux operating system. Okay, and after that the image name, the same image name which have just downloaded, Sujit1812 product test -amg with the tag name v1. So now I'm going to run this image. So here we saw that we had run our container, and in this container like it is running on the port number 7452, and when I like run this in this port number, my application is running. So this is the beauty of the containerized application. So here I no need to install any dependency like .NET Runtime or .NET SDK, anything. So nothing is installed, but still my .NET application is running. So even I have not installed any IIS or anything. So this is the beauty of the containerized application. So this is all about, guys. Like as I promised, I will show you running the same application in the Linux operating system. So now it's done, it's running here. So the only thing I want to say that, like here the main thing is like Docker image, it has packaged everything. Like I can tell you one example of like kind of caravan. Okay, so you must be knowing caravan. So where like if someone is traveling for long distance, so they have all their necessary things like luggage, all the food, everything, water, everything, they are packaged in the caravan, and they are free. Like they can go to any place, they can spend their life, so like that. So since it's packaged everything, whatever it is needed to run this application, it's there in this application, and it's now no needed to depend on the external uh, environments. So it's not, now this application is not needed that okay, wherever I have to run, so there must be .NET runtime install, .NET SDK install, so it's not needed. So that's the beauty of the containerized application. So that's all for this class, guys. So in next class what I will do is like I will try to uh, explain, I will try to explain each and like structure of this Docker file, like how this Docker file is structured, how this looks like inside a image, and also I will tell you like how can we reduce the image size. So you must have noticed like the image size is very big. If you see here, so Docker images, right? Okay, see 850 MB. Here if you see it is 1.22 GB. So we have not written so many things, but still the size is very big. So in the next class we will try to reduce the size. There is something called multi-layer container. Okay, so we will see like how can we reduce the size by using the multi-layer container. So thanks for joining this video, guys, and if you like this video, please subscribe my channel and share this with your friends, whoever is trying to learn microservices or containerization using .NET application. You can share this video with your friends and like my video, and if you have any question, then you can ask in the comment section. Thank you.